questions are kind of like spicy. And I'm in my 20s and I know this. So why are you in your 30s and you don't know this? The TikTok edits. So like even TikTok algorithm is trying to tell me this was, like, bar none. I might do a book unhaul coming up and this one will be in it. That's weirdo behavior. Like, they're the weird one. Whoa. Fully tripped on my cat scratcher. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. Welcome to a tag video. I hardly ever do tag videos. I saw this one recently and in 2024 I did an end of the year tag, like, or going into 2024 I did an end of the year tag. So I decided in 2025 I would do a beginning of the year tag. I think she created it, Larry Reed. Obviously I got this idea from her. I watched her video. I thought they were really fun questions to answer. I think tag videos are always so interesting to get to know someone and their book taste. I think there's like 18 here. There's not too many, but I have them all on my computer, so I will be reading from this if I look down. Okay, so our first question is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? Now, if you saw my 2025 reset video, I am planning on reading 70. That is my Goodreads goal, is 70 books this year. Last year, I read 75 and my goal was 60. Usually my rule for making new Goodreads goals is every year I increase my goal by 5. And for some reason, I thought that my goal last year was 65. So I made my goal this year 70 and I refuse to change it. It's already on Goodreads. So it's saying that is why 70 is my goal for this year. I feel like that is still achievable because, like I said, I did read 75 last year. But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, hopefully life doesn't get insanely busy. I'd had a Goodreads goal going back 10 years. And not 10 years, that's a little dry. Maybe 5 years. It just keeps me motivated. I like seeing the little wrap up at the end of all the books I read. But you can't look at your other friends' challenges this year, which I think takes away a part of the fun of it, and I'm not happy about that, Goodreads. All the years past, you were able to see your reading challenge, and then you were also able to see your friends' reading challenges and how they were doing with their reading challenges, and I just feel like that adds a little competitive fun to it. Number 2, a book you're likely to reread this year. So actually, I tried to stay away from rereads just because we also found out in my book reset video that I have 181 books on my physical TBR going into 2025, and that is so many books. That's not even including all the books that I have on my Kindle that I don't have physically. That's just my physical library. I have 181 books, which is crazy. I would have to read a book every other day for the entire year, pretty much, and I just think that that is insane. Because of that reason, I just am really trying to cut down my physical TBR. I don't really do rereads. However, I do have an idea of a reread to do this year. You probably saw this coming, but I want to reread Fourth Wing. And possibly Iron Flame along with it. As you know, Onyx Storm came out. She's right here. I have her waiting, and I'm probably gonna read Onyx Storm before I reread the first and second books of the series. I can't wait that long. Maybe after I read Onyx Storm, I'll reread the rest of the series just because I feel like knowing what happens in Onyx Storm, it'll be interesting to see if there are any Easter eggs throughout the 2 first books, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, knowing what happens in Onyx Storm. I think I want to reread Fourth Wing. This is obviously one of my 5-star reads. I am obsessed with Fourth Wing. I should have worn my Fourth Wing sweatshirt. It'll be cool to go back into one of my favorite fantasy series, knowing what happens in the 3rd book. Third question, a priority read on your 2025 TBR. Okay, let me go back to my 2025 TBR. Ooh, there's so many priority reads on my 2025 TBR. If you haven't seen the video, I posted a video of 25 books in 2025. That's my entire yearly TBR. They're all a priority because I've been wanting to read them all so much. I'm gonna say, a little bit of a plot twist, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Just because this is a book that I have heard so much about for the past couple of years since it's been out, and I have the other 4 books in the series. I've just heard that it's such a good fantasy read. Even the font that it's written in, and that's how you know, when you have a good font, you're yes, this is gonna be a good book. I just heard so much about this book, and I want to get what the hype is around it. Some people compared to Fourth Wing. It's the Crowns of Nixia series. It is about, I believe, a vampire, and a human, I'm pretty sure, and they are in a tournament. Tournaments are always fun in books. It's weird because I opened it up twice and I read the first couple of pages and I really liked it, but then I was like, no, 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 it's not the right time. I have to wait for like the right time when I don't have like 5 other books that I'm in the middle of. And that just time never comes, as that always happens when you're waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time never comes. So this is a priority read for this year because I just need to figure out why everyone loves it. Next, an author you won't be reading more books from this year. Ooh, these questions are kind of like spicy. I think I have one in mind. And let me explain this one. I'm gonna consider this like I won't be reading any more books from her after I finish the series that I'm already in the middle of. And that's Lucy Score. Surprise, surprise. This is a Knock 'em Out trilogy. I read the first book. I have the other 2 books to read, which is why I say, because I'm trying to read all the books in my physical TBR, I will be reading these 2 books. After that, I won't be buying any more of her books. I don't even know if she's writing any more books. I haven't heard about her lately. She's a romance author. But her thing is her books are huge. They're massive for romance books, and so is Lauren Asher, but I just feel like Lucy Score's formula, I read a couple of her books and I already know her formula. It's always like not a surprise at the end when like the big twist happens and this big kind of unbelievable, like this, like, okay, you're trying to tell me like this has all happened, like that's not believable at all, thing happens, and it's just like so long for a romance book. Her characters are just very, in my mind, they're very stereotypical characters that you hear about, and I just don't think that she's for me anymore this year. So after these 2 books, like I've seen some of her books at the bookstore and I don't know, I'm just not into them like I used to be into them. But you know, maybe it'll change, but right now the only author that I have in mind that I will not be reading anything else from is Lucy Score, just because I feel like there were other romance books that I would like better. No hate. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna keep reading the rest of this series. Also, her characters tend to be very immature for the age they are. Like, I feel like her characters are older, like late 20s, early 30s, but they act like children. There's like no emotional intelligence. Like, it's just like, okay, if you have a conflict with someone that you're dating, talk to them. Like, that's all you have to do. And I'm in my 20s and I know this. So why are you in your 30s and you don't know this? You know? It's like, I think that just frustrates me too. So, Lucy Score, I won't be reading her books besides those 2 from the Knock 'em Out trilogy. Why is this going again? Sorry, my litter butt keeps going. And then number 5, something new you want to read. New genres or tropes specifically. I've been saying this for so long and it's already come to my mind. I want to read science fiction books. Right now I have Red Rising and Golden Sun, the first 2 books in the Red Rising trilogy. I have these 2 books in my physical TBR. I've just been wanting to get into the sci-fi world for so long. I just feel like there is a whole genre out there, sci-fi, that so many people love, and it's just never been, it's never the genre that I turn to. Like, I'm never in the mood to read a sci-fi. Like, I'll always pick like fantasy or romance, even nonfiction sometimes, over a sci-fi book for some reason, and it's not the genre's fault because I haven't even given it a chance. Feel like this is a genre that I really want to actually fully try this year. I feel like I will have to use my brain a lot more in sci-fi books, and maybe that's why I don't tend towards them all the time. I want to give it a try because the Red Rising trilogy is the sci-fi books that I hear the most about. I've also heard about this one Andy Weir book. I forget what it's called, but I'll put it right here. That's a sci-fi book, and just like really good things about it. I want to give sci-fi a try in 2025. And who knows, it might become like a new favorite genre. I'll never know unless I try it. A popular book you want to read. Oh my god, all of them? All of them. But to stop repeating myself, I'm gonna choose Powerless. This is another book on my 25 books of 2025 that I really want to read. Again, just like The Serpent and the Wings of the Night, another series that I've heard oh so much about, and I just have been waiting for the right time to read it, but it's like there is never a right time to read it. Like, just do it. I'm even getting like fan edits on my TikTok of Peyton and Kai, so like I know that they're like the 2 main characters in this book, strictly from the TikTok edits. So like even TikTok algorithm is trying to tell me, you're really gonna like this book, you should just do it. And it is so popular, and there has to be a reason why it's so popular. It does sound like a cool concept. It's Peyton and Kai. Kai is a prince, Peyton is a thief. They enter into this tournament. Again, tournaments I feel like are so fun in fantasy books. Peyton is pretending to be someone she's not, and she's like trying to hide that from Kai. He was an elite and is kind of like trying to kill people like Peyton. So Enemies to Lovers. I heard the band was really good. I heard the first book was better than the second book, so I want to make a decision for myself. Most anticipated 2025 book release. Is it cheating to say Onyx Storm? Because I have it right here. Is that cheating to say that this is the most anticipated 2025 release? Because honestly, this was, like, bar none. And I'm holding it in my hands and it's crazy. And even though I have it now, it came out in the beginning of the year, so I think it still counts for this beginning of the year tag. This is absolutely the most anticipated release of 2025. Still anticipating it because I don't want to read it because again, I'm waiting for the perfect time. This is my issue, okay? This is the issue that I have with so many things. I know I'm gonna love this book. So like, Sarah, just read it. Number 8, a bookish goal for 2025. If you're interested, go watch my book reset. That is where I put all of my bookish goals. I have like 6, I think, this year, but I'll just say one of them. That is to read a classic. So I obviously read a lot of books, right? And I've never read a classic. Well, I've read the classics that I've had to at school, you know, like Shakespeare and Fahrenheit 451, like all those books that you had to read during school. Apparently now you don't because they're banned, but when I was in school, I had to read them. So I read all those books, but I haven't read like a classic like on my own time. I feel like I would just really enjoy it because obviously they're classics for a reason. I do have a classic on my 2025 TBR. I did this video again if you want to see which classic that is. If I can read 70 books in a year, one of them can be a classic. And number 9, a book that's been on your TBR you probably won't ever read. Calling me out in this tag, okay? I'm not gonna say like my TBR of like the month or the year. I'm just gonna say like on my physical TBR, like that's how I'm gonna view this question. It's gonna be my favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. This book has it on my TBR for so long. I read Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren and I loved it so much. And then I read the first couple of the chapters of this book and it just wasn't it. DNF'd it so fast and it takes me so long to DNF books, and in my mind I'm always like, oh, I'll go back to it. Oh, I'll go back to it. But I kind of know that I'll never go back to it, especially if I have 181 books on my TBR. Like, I want to read the 181 that I actually do want to read first. So I feel like I'll never read my favorite Half Night Stand. I might do a book unhaul coming up and this one will be in it. That's how I know that this is a book that I'll probably never read, is I'm okay with putting this in an unhaul. So I'm so sorry, Christina Lauren. I love Love and Other Words. I love it so much. I have The Unhoneymooners by them. I haven't read that one, but it's just, I don't know, something about this book I didn't love. 10, a series you want to read this year. Oh my gosh, no brainer. Can you see this? Jordan Blaz. I feel like a fraud because I have been saying that I'm gonna read this book for the past 2 years and I just never have. I have like my tabs picked out and in the first chapter. That is how serious I am. That is how much I've been wanting to read this book. Like, I'm just like, all you have to do is literally take it off your shelf, open up, and start reading. You don't even have to get a bookmark. You don't have to find tab colors. Just read. And I don't know, it's such a popular series and it's just so intimidating to me. And I feel like my expectations are just so high for it. But I need to read it because I love Sarah J. Maas's ACOTAR series. I want to read the Crescent City series. And this is the next series I need to read from hers and I know I'm going to be obsessed with it. I kind of know it's going to take over my life, so that's also why I've been putting it off. Don't let me end this year without reading this series. Like, yell at me in the comments every single video. I don't care. I can take it. I need to get through this series. And it's not even that I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be so good that I'm not going to want to read anything else afterwards. Alright, number 11. Your auto-buy authors going into 2025. Okay, so first, of course, she's coming up with a new one in 2025. I already know. Emily Henry has always, will always be an auto-buy author. I just relate so much to her books, to her characters. I love the way she sets up her stories where there's a love story, but there's also a woman's fiction story in there almost, where like the main character is always dealing with something more than just the romance, and it adds so much more depth to her characters than some of the other romance books that I read. So Emily Henry will always be an auto-buy author. My girl Sarah J. Maas, she is always going to be an auto-buy author. Again, I need to read Throne of Glass, but you better believe I'm gonna buy any other series she comes out with and just put it on the shelf. just so I have it, because I just love her worlds. I love her fantasy storytelling, love the way she writes, and I feel like her, at least the ACOTAR world, this is the only series I read by her, it was so good, so immersive, and I just trust her so much with the fantasy series. Genre, just from reading this first series, she is definitely going to be an autobiographical author if she ever puts out another series, because I feel like I have all of her books except the last Crescent City book that she has out right now, and that's strictly because I'm waiting for the paperback version to come out of the last Crescent City book, because I'm not buying the hardcover version, because I have 2 paperback versions, and if the hardcover version looks like this next to it, that's going to do something weird to my OCD. Top 2 autobi authors. I had a big list of them, but it has dwindled down a little bit. A book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. I actually don't know what book to show adaptations are coming out this year. Shall we do some research? Verity. I know it says book to show, but I'm going to take that to mean like book to screen. But Verity, I am very excited to see. I don't really read Colleen Hoover anymore, but that is one of the first books that I read by her, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good thriller. Recommended it to everyone when I first read it, but now I'm like, would I still recommend it? I don't know. Would just be so kind of creepy and fun to see on screen. I'm thinking of one specific scene that happens where the main character, I forget her name, is looking into the video camera and she sees Verity do something, and that scene is just gonna be so creepy and scary, and I think that if they get the right directors, the right production team, that they can make it really cool and really kind of like eerie. So I think I'm definitely excited for Verity. I'm definitely gonna watch that one. There are a few others that I'm excited for, like ACOTAR, if that ever actually comes out, I'm excited for that one. Also, I hear something about Fourth Wing coming out, but again, I feel like Verity, we know that there's a cast, so we know that that's coming out. It has a release date in like February. The other shows we don't really know yet, so I'm gonna say Verity for this one. Next, a sequel you're anticipating. Simba! Didn't make it. My camera died, so sorry about that. I was talking about a sequel that I'm anticipating. Does this mean a sequel that I'm anticipating coming out this year, or just in general anticipating? I'm gonna take it as in general anticipating a sequel to Twisted Crowns. I am very much anticipating this sequel. This is the second book in the Shepherd King duology. Read One Dark Window last year. I absolutely loved it. This book is on my January TBR, and I am highly anticipating this sequel because I just loved One Dark Window so much. I want to know what they do to our characters and with our characters. I was glued to reading One Dark Window. I am just very excited to see what this book is going to do. It is the last book in the series because it's only a duology, so very excited for this one. Bookish things you're leaving in 2024. Okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind is judging other people for what they read. And I don't judge people for what they read, but I think in general, us as a society need to stop judging people for what they read. It is literally so silly to me that you judge people for what they enjoy doing and what they read. Like, and I do see it a lot on like booktube and book talk, people just being so judgy about certain books, and it's like, why do you care? Like, if that's not your cup of tea, then that's fine. Just let those people enjoy their book. Like, I don't know why people get so up in arms about it. I think that in general, we should leave that in 2024 as a society of just like, read what you want to read. Don't worry about anyone making fun of you for it, because it's literally just like a leisure fun activity. No one should put parameters on leisure and fun activities if they're not hurting anybody. And I just think that that is so silly that people do that. And then also, personally, I want to leave not DNFing books in 2024. So if you saw my recent video, also I talked about this, where I have like a problem DNFing books. I don't know what in me lets me not DNF a book. I think it's like my OCD coming out a little bit. I'm like, I started this book, I have to finish it. I need to say I finished it. And even when I DNF books, like I said, I DNF'd my favorite Half Night Stand, I never fully DNF them. Like, in my mind, I'm always like, I'll go back to it. I'll go back to it. Like, I can just DNF it and be done with it. Even a book that I DNF'd years ago, I read this year because it was on my mind. And I feel like I need to figure that whole situation out. But I want to leave that in 2024 because there were just so many good books that I will not want to DNF to read. So why waste my time on books that I'm not enjoying? I need to learn to leave that in 2024. Number 15, what to expect from this account. So I'm assuming that means like my YouTube channel. What to expect in 2025. I want to do a lot of reading vlogs. I want to do more reading vlogs. I want to maybe do some more reset videos. I had a lot of fun doing my book reset video, and it was my first one on the channel. It made me feel more organized. I love watching reset videos, so they're probably always going to be like bookish related. Maybe I'll say like my personal reset that I do every week, but in general they're going to be like more bookish related resets. I think that I want to add more of those into it, even if it's just like an end of the month, end of every other month resetting in the way of doing my reading journal, keeping up to date with my physical TBR tracker, keeping up with my photo album that I have, planning for the videos for next month. Just like even if it's strictly like bookish related, I want to like do more of those on the channel, because I kind of do that with my ultimate reading videos. I want to do like more things with every month just to keep up with this, especially my reading journal. Like I really want to keep up with that, and I feel like that's a good reset activity. Lately I've been posting 3 times a week. I'm gonna try and do that for as long as I can, and then I am gonna post a video twice a week, and that is gonna be my goal, to post a video twice a week. If I end up posting 3, that's great, but my goal is gonna be like twice a week, unless like a super busy time happens. But I feel like I just love doing it so much. I have like a lot of ideas that I want to do. Usually the posting is on Wednesday and Saturday. If I post 3 times a week, it's usually on Monday. So that's what to expect. I also read a lot of fantasy. I read a lot of romance. I read a lot of thrillers, and I love my occasional nonfiction, and I'm getting into classics. So those are the genres you can expect to see, especially romantasy. I love romantasy. Also dark academia. Love it. That's what you can expect from me this year. How has your reading taste evolved from last year? I feel like in what I just said, like it evolved where I feel the urge to read classics more. For me, it means like 1 or 2 times a year. Read no classic. My reading taste has changed in the sense of I love romance, but I also I like the deeper romances now. Like I don't know about like fluffy romances so much if I'm gonna be super into that. I like the deeper romances. I think that's definitely changed from last year. The romantasy taste has stayed the same. Still love my audiobook mystery thrillers. Dark academia, I feel like I really got into dark academia at the end of last year, and it's fully been coming into this year. Like I'm just so excited to read more dark academia books, which is good. It's good to grow in your book tastes. Booktube creators who inspire you. Oh my gosh, so many. The first 2 that comes to mind are, of course, Sarah Crowley. I love like the creativity she puts behind her video ideas. She also lives in New Jersey, and I live in New Jersey, so it's like I like knowing what she's talking about in her videos of like being a Jersey resident. Destiny Sidwell, I feel like I get inspired from her a lot because I think that her editing is always very bright and creative. It doesn't feel scripted at all, her videos, and I kind of like that she's very spontaneous. She cuts it together in a super creative, colorful way. Haley Pham, love Haley Pham, the queen of booktube practically. I connected her at first because like she was like an Asian creator, and I'm half Asian, she's half Asian. I was like, oh, this is fun, let me support her. But then when I started watching her videos, I was like, she like has top tier editing skills. Like I don't know how long it takes her to edit videos, but it must take her so long. Her videos are always so professional looking. I just love the way that she edits together her videos. You can tell that she puts like so much work into it. Another booktube creator who's kind of not booktube as much anymore. She's more of a vlogger, but I feel like we all know her, Steph Borer. She's also, I think, originally from New Jersey, so I think that's also why I originally like tuned into her. She liked One Direction, she liked Taylor Swift. So I originally started watching her on, I think, like TikTok. Then I migrated over to her YouTube in like 2020 or 2021 something. And she's just entertaining. She's just fun. It's like you're hanging out with a best friend, and I love that about her videos. Who else? Larry Reads, of course, the creator of this book tag. She's just so funny. Like I feel like her videos are so like you never know what's gonna happen next. And I mean that in the best possible way. I think she's so much fun to watch. She also reads all of the same books that I read, but she also reads just like a lot of books in general. So like if she doesn't like a book, I know that our book tastes are kind of similar, so then I won't read that book. She saved me the time of having to want to DNF a book but not DNF a book because I can't. Those are the few that come to mind right now. I'm sure there's more. Oh, one more, Alexa Ray. That is the last one I'm gonna say. She's just so adorable. Like her videos are always so cozy, and she's so like soft spoken and calming in her videos. Like I'm not like that. Like I'm not very soft spoken and calming. It's okay, I know. I feel like I need to watch her videos sometimes because she's just so calm videos, and they're also always so fun and well edited. So yeah, those are my creators that I'm definitely most inspired by. Love them. Last question in our beginning of the year tag. I feel like I've been recording forever. I've been talking forever. Something you want to say to anyone wanting to start a bookish account. Oh, this is fun. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, literally just do it. Just do it. I don't care if you want to not even show your face and just have a list style of like 5 books that you loved in the past year. Like on TikTok, make it a couple second video. I don't care. Just do it. And I feel like once you get over that hump of posting your first content, posting your first video, then it becomes a lot easier from there. What helped me, because I knew that for a few years, I knew that I wanted to share my love for books and my book taste for people. And I just never did it because I was like, oh, I'll do it another time. Oh, I'll do it later. Oh, like, it's not the right time. I'm too busy. You're always gonna be too busy, so just do it. That's like my best advice for anyone. Literally not even wanting to just do booktube, but to do anything, just do it. Take the first step. It becomes a lot easier from there. People say that all the time, but it's really true. Trust me. And then like you just learn along the way. I literally started with my iPhone camera, my camera that I got for graduation, and the free iMovie on my computer that I've had since college. Like, that's all I started on. It's super user friendly, and I think that you should just do it because you'll learn things along the way and you connect with some awesome people. So yeah, that's my best advice. If you want to start a bookish account, just do it. Don't care about what everyone else says. If they're too worried about you, that's weirdo behavior. If someone makes you feel weird for posting, that's weirdo behavior. Like, they're the weird one. Why do they care so much what you're doing with your life? Luckily, I have like my friends and family that do know about it. Like, me posting have been super supportive, and just, they're not like weird about it. They're just like, oh, I saw this video. Like, I like that book too. And it's just like chill, luckily. So I never had to experience any of that, like people saying like I shouldn't do it, because I think I surround myself with people that realize that that's just weirdo behavior to like care that much about what people do. With that, I have been talking forever. That brings us to the end of our beginning of the year tag video, our 18 questions. I think they were so much fun. It helped me, honestly, realize the books I need to focus on, things to think about bookish-wise that I haven't thought about yet this year. So I appreciate it. I had fun. I would love to know your answers to some of the questions. Again, this was completely from Larry Reed's video. I'll put all her questions in the description if you want to just answer them. I feel like that'd be fun. Other than that, that is gonna be it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!